Yet another week, another amazing guest. When you think of talent, when you think of gifted hands, my guest is one person that should come to your mind. Before I introduce her, I cannot forget to thank our incredible host this week at Elsa Hotel. It's one amazing one place with a lot of ambience, good ambience, a place that you get comfortable with your people, with your family, with your friends. They have a conference, they have ample parking, very secure and very amazing rooms that you can get comfortable whenever you're here. You cannot miss this hotel. It's just a few meters from the tarmac and you're going to enjoy their service. Very accommodative staff that you're going to cater for all your needs. Kindly introduce yourself.
My name is WINNIE NKIROTE, the owner and CEO of KAYCEE Crafts and Peace Haven Meru. I am a mother of 4 beautiful babies. My first one is a girl, and I have 3 sons. My daughter is 9 years old, and then I have a 7-year-old, a 5-year-old, and my last one just got to 3 years old. So kidogo motherhood has been tough kidogo because of multitasking between business and motherhood. So I try, I do my best. Yeah.
I know it's unbelievable to the audience that hii mwili tu inatoshana hivi ndio imetoa 4 babies. You've got to give us the secret. How can you be looking like this with 4 babies?
I think good genes.
You don't do anything special?
No, I don't do anything special. Junk food is my favorite food.
Wow. I envy you right now. I know myself and like 5 billion women will envy you right now. So, WINNIE, I'll go straight to it. You're one person I've known for a while. I know part of the story. It's not been easy to get to where you are right now. Most people get to know you as KAYCEE, but they don't really know the story behind KAYCEE and how it was born. You're one person who knows what loss means because, no one starts any form of relationship hoping that it will end. Sisi wote huanza relationship tukihope, for a happy ending, to be happy at the end of it all. So we'll go straight to it. Tell us a little bit about your loss, kwa wenye hawajui. Yeah.
In 2022, January of 2022, I lost everything. I lost my marriage, I lost my kids. I got a major setback in life. I had saved up for a business, but because of certain circumstances that we had to separate with my husband, I had to use the resources I had to go and settle down elsewhere. Losses happen. People grow apart, even if you have kids. People grow apart. And it is not planned or expected. Things just happen. And when they happen, we accept. So it was a major heartbreak. I almost got into depression. I had a small baby. I didn't have a job. I didn't know how to put up my businesses, my hustle. I didn't know how to go about it. I was emotionally distressed. I was in pain. I was just a mess. I wasn't able to know how I'm going to survive. 2022 was one very difficult year for me. I couldn't cope. I am a firm believer that I am strong. I was brought up by a very strong woman. She was in the forces and she knew how to handle pain. So I knew from my mother that handling pain is possible. But in 2022, I was almost unable to handle the pain. I didn't even know I was going to see the end of 2022. It was very, very, very difficult. When I left my marriage, I moved into a bed sitter. just a small setup. But then at the middle of the year, life got very hard. I had to move to a single room. I had to know how I'll function from a single room. Then after a while, I started stabilizing and I moved back to our bed sitter. But life was very, very complicated. Life, at some point, nothing was moving. In 2022, I slept hungry. In 2022, I didn't know what to do with my baby. He has adverse eczema. He needed medication, he needed a lot of things that I couldn't provide. Most of the days are the days that I just sat down until the morning, from during the day to through the night. Because the pain I had experienced in that year, I didn't even have the tears to cry. They were not tears. You have that very extreme pain that you cannot even cry. You cannot react. You're just there waiting for just life to happen the way it will happen. But I made it through 2022 by God's grace. I wasn't seeing how that year will end when I'm still alive. But by God's grace, this is 2024. I'm here. I'm grateful for life. I'm thankful for God's grace, because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. Losing a marriage that you are in for 9 good years wasn't easy. I was devastated. Yes, I was devastated. I lost most of my relationships, my friendships. Nobody wanted to be associated with failure. My marriage had failed. I was not moving in life. I was not moving in business. Nothing was happening. I was just going down and down and down until I hit rock bottom. And nobody wanted to be associated with that. I only have less than 5 people I can associate with right now. I can say clearly that they were there for me. And I know when I make it, it's only those 5 people that I'm going to recognize. I'm not even going to recognize any family that wasn't there. I'm not going to recognize any upcoming friendship that wasn't there for me. I'm just going to recognize the few people who fed my son when I didn't have any otherwise. The ones who helped me through, the ones who are encouraging me that I'm going to make it. Those are the only people I hope to keep close. Yeah, and I pray to God every day to bless them. Because having those people when you hit rock bottom, it's not easy at all. It's not.
So you mentioned that you have 4 babies.
Yes.
But throughout we are hearing you saying your baby, your baby. Would you care to tell us what happened? Why is it you're talking about your son? What happened to the other babies?
Oh, my daughter and her 2 brothers had to be left with their dad, because there is no way I could be able to fend for all of them. I was in a bad mental state. I was not capable, even financially, to cater for them. So their dad was in the best of position to have them. You know, as mothers, we always look for what's best for our children. And them being left with their dad, who was very willing to have them, was one of the best decisions I could make. Because they would have a good home, a warm home. They wouldn't lack for anything. So I would rather I went and just had to cope being without my children, which was very difficult. I bathed them. I was there when they were growing, making their first steps, saying their first words, until they got to the age they were. And being without them was a very big challenge for me as a mother. But that decision was for the best. Because it could have seemed as if I put my ego first before my children. And still I wouldn't stay because it wasn't good for me. The decision was already made. What happened, happened. I had to leave them behind, but I get to see them. I get to see them. So when I talk about my baby, it's because I only have one at the moment, my last one. He was very young. He couldn't be left behind. and I wouldn't cope without him. I think he was just given to me by God, by grace, because it is only because of him I kept trying. Even if I fail, I kept trying. Even if I don't have food, I would look for a way, I will find food for my son. That is the reason as to why I didn't give up on life. So when I talk about my baby, it's because I have been through this journey with only that one baby. The rest are okay. They are very okay. They are happy. They are well taken care of. So yes, that was the best decision I could have made. I get to see them whenever they have closed school, and I'm thankful for that. Yes.
You leaving your marriage, was it a mutual decision, or you're the one who just felt you've had enough and you had to leave? Because I know living a relationship, I mean, you find that even when you have a disagreement, even with just a friend, it's something that affects someone very much. I believe every adult, especially someone that is like 30 years plus, is someone who has gone through loss, one form of loss. So we all know it's not easy, and making that decision is not easy. Walk us through that decision. Was it a mutual decision? Did you make it alone and felt this is enough? And how easy or how hard was it for you to make the decision?
I'll say the decision at the end of it all was mutual, because we grew apart. When someone falls in love with someone else, you just can't keep holding on, and they have already told you they're in love with someone else. So I just counted my losses and moved on, because a lot happened. I don't know if I'm ready to talk about it now, but a lot happened. It wasn't really very mutual. It wasn't an easy decision to be made, because kids were there. Their affairs, their well-being had to be top priority. So the marriage ending wasn't really mutual, because I could have held on however way I could, just for them to have a good home. But at the end of the day, when you grow apart with someone and they tell you they no longer see it fit for you to be in each other's life, that is something you have to just accept. Even if you are not ready, it was a forced decision. That is what I can say. It was a forced decision, because it didn't cross my mind that I'll agree to leave a marriage that I was in for 9 years. So it just happened. The decisions were made, the plans were finalized, and we are okay the way we are, I believe.
So, what's your take on, or to you, you believe that if someone has told you that, I have someone in my life, because women, we believe that we can build things, we can change people. We somehow think we are miracle workers, that, ninaweza mumake, I can make this one work, ninaweza change mind yake. So, wewe unaamini, if someone has said that, niko na mtu mwingine and enough is enough for me, I feel this is the end for us, una believe hakuna need kaa ukisema you can fight for this, or kuna wale who believe that prayers will work, and all that. So your take is, kama mtu ameshasema tu, it's good to you.
From experience and from the stories I've had, there's something you cannot change about a person, especially when it comes to loving someone, even your own family. When your own family don't want to be associated with you, you cannot keep forcing them to be associated with you. The situation only gets worse. It never gets better, because this person has already told you they don't want you, but you're still hanging on. They try to push you away in however way possible, but you're still holding on. At the end of the day, you are the one who is still going to lose it. So the earlier you accept, my advice to people, the earlier you accept someone has told you they don't want you in their life, someone has told you they no longer love you, it is good, it is advisable to take that very seriously. It is. Because the situation only gets worse. It doesn't get better at all. At all. So, I believe everybody should be able to love themselves. Once any kind of relationship is not working, just leave it alone. Don't force it. Don't tire yourself by trying to make it work. Because a person's feelings is a person's feelings.
True.
They have already gone to someone else. How will you be able to turn them back? You're not the same with the other person that has been chosen, that has been loved. So how can you change the feelings they have for that specific person, and you're not that person, for them to come back to you? It is not possible. So the earlier and in the quickest time possible, it's good to accept. Yes.
And now, having gone through all that, of course, like you've mentioned, it hasn't been easy at all, of course, because that's a very bitter pill to swallow. You know, this is someone, of course, you didn't get into a relationship blindly. You didn't get into a relationship with, si ati kuna mtu amekuja akawashikanisha. It's a journey. It's an agreement between two. And now it's broken. Would you say, or would you rather, do you still believe it's possible to have someone and grow old with them together? Do you feel you're in that space that you can still love, or now do you hate love?
I have friends, one of them being you, in a working marriage. It's not a relationship anymore, it's a marriage. I still believe in beautiful marriages. I still believe in love. It has been 3 years since my separation. I've taken the time to heal. I've taken the time to accept. I've taken the time to work on myself. So, and I've met wonderful people along the journey. It is good. Love is love. And love works. I've seen people in successful marriages. I've seen friends who have been who are still celebrating their 10th anniversary, their 15th anniversary. That's a good time. That's valid time to be in a marriage. And so I still believe marriages work. Yes, and I also pray that the home I left, the marriage is going to work, because at the end of the day my kids are also there. I still hope and I still pray that home will be a happy home for my kids' parents and for my kids too. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what someone did. And they are not the same people as the ones that are out here. People are different. Just because this person say they don't love you anymore, you can still find someone else who will love you. I haven't really dated somebody, but I do hope, I still have the hope that I'm going to date someone. I know people tell me, now you have 4 kids, you can't find love. I've seen people even getting married with 6 kids to a person that doesn't have any child. So I still believe in successful marriage stories, even after a long-term marriage, a long-term relationship. Yes.
Wow. I did mention that you guys, today I have that guest that you have a heart of gold, because wishing someone well, someone that has broken you up, it's not easy. And that's also a clear indication that indeed you took the time to heal. And I'm one person that is so proud of you, and the milestones have brought them to where you are right now. And I thank God for you for where you are right now. Yeah. So you did mention about the few friends that stood by you, and you said that you lost some friends who didn't want to be associated with failure, and even family that didn't want to associate with failure. Any of these people that left you behind, either of them, have they tried to reach out to you now that you know you're Madam CEO? Are they trying to come back to your life?
Just like I said, people don't like being associated with failure. It goes the complete opposite. People will always want to be associated with success, whether they were part of the journey or not. And they like to assume that you forgot how they left you, when they left you. Yes, some have tried to say hi, to try to reassociate themselves with me, but I'll just keep the friendship mutual. I will not bring them closer to where they were. No, I will not. I cannot tell you straightforward that I cannot be associated with you because you did not want to help me. You didn't want to be associated with me because my life became a mess. No, I will not tell you. I will just keep the relationship, the friendship strictly friends only.
Yes.
Or I'll just keep you in the group of the people that I know. I will not bring you closer to a place I can say this is a close friend of mine. I will not. Yes.
And now, there's this stereotyping about, we love, the society loves stereotyping single women and single mothers. There are those who believe you see a single mom is someone who is going to wreck someone's marriage, because like you've mentioned, I am married. There are those people who believe that someone like me associating with someone that is a single mom, it's not good. And she's going to ruin your marriage, she's not going to have anything positive to say about marriage. What's your take on that?
That's a reality. It's the harsh reality of life. People always assume that even when you're living in a place that you're surrounded with neighbors that are married, they'll assume that because you're a single mom and their husbands start looking at you, they start noticing you, that you will eventually start going closer, getting closer to their spouses. It is a challenge, yes, but I promised myself not to let people get me to that level of that I'm desperate, because I'm not desperate. Yes, I'm not desperate at all. I will do everything and anything I can to fend for my children. Because when I'm hustling, I don't say I only have one baby. I count my 4 babies, even if they are not with me.
Yes.
But when we are establishing our businesses, when we are establishing our hustles, you are building your children's future. You don't even count it as your own. So even when somebody tells me you are a single mom, do you think that this will work? Do you think that life is going to be good for you without a man? Life can be very bad for you even when you have a man. It's only in the mindset. That if you put your mind to the fact that you cannot make it without a man, you will not make it without a man. If you put your mind that having my own life, having my own money, having my own business is good for me, and when a man comes along, or if a man is there, having him as an additional support, that's a bonus.
Yes.
Because these days, people have made it that they cannot succeed, they cannot do anything without a man. A man is also a human being. They are above us, yes, and you're supposed to be submissive to them as their women. But always, as a woman, have something of your own. That is the only way that you can change your mindset. It doesn't matter if you are married, doesn't matter if you are single. You have to have something of substance that you are doing with your life. Yes.
You mentioned that your boy, the last one, really has extreme eczema. Take us through the journey of eczema. For those who don't know what it is, there could be moms somewhere struggling with it. Those who don't really understand what it is, and take us through that journey.
My last born was diagnosed with eczema at 3 months. It wasn't easy. He had very advanced eczema. You couldn't even be able to hold him. Everything was a trigger. Eczema is the dryness of the skin. And sometimes flare-ups are caused by proteins, they are caused by the clothes they wear, by the detergents you use. So I've consulted a few dermatologists. I consulted the pediatrician Gatino, but it did not help. I consulted Dr. Kasheri. She's the one who has worked with me that journey. It's very expensive. And being jobless and not knowing what to do or where to source those things from, the soap, the oil, the moisturizer, and they are very expensive. It was a big challenge. Sometimes we couldn't sleep. My son would itch until he peels off his skin. It was a nightmare. Yeah, it was a nightmare. Eczema can really make a mom cry. Yeah, because the child is very uncomfortable. The products they're supposed to use to get better, they are very expensive. So to a mom that does not have the capability to source those things that are needed for eczema, it is truly a challenge. So when in 2022, if I could get something small to do, I also bake cakes. That's peace haven. So if I'll get one order, much of that proceed will go to buying my son moisturizer, buying him soap. I really struggled because this eczema, it is not a disease that you can cure. It is a condition that you manage until it ends or the child just grows up with it. So the doctor was just telling me, stick to this, but they don't understand if you have the capability or not.
Yeah.
So I really tried. It wasn't easy, but somehow I was able to be getting him soap. I was able to be getting him the cream that he's supposed to use on the sores, of the most affected places of his skin. I was able to get him eczema. The doctors at Grace Park really helped because they will see that it was a very big challenge for me. So they would guide me on what to do, which products that were more affordable that I could use, and I'm really grateful.
So you would say even getting the right, having the right doctors to work with you, the journey is really helpful. And where are you at now? How is he compared to where you're coming from, compared to 3 months and now? How is he?
Compared to 3 months, compared to, let me start from 2022, because 2022 was very difficult. We couldn't even sleep. I couldn't sleep because I'm depressed. He couldn't sleep because his eczema has advanced. But in 2023, things started working out. After even 2022 was the year of elections. So nobody really wanted to release their money because they didn't know the outcome of the elections. So everything was at a standstill for me. So in January 2023, things started looking up. I started getting cake orders. I started getting, people are looking for me to make this household stuff. So I started making sure that I have what he needs in advance. So as we moved and as he grows, because I was told as the child grows, the eczema starts healing slowly by slowly.
Getting better.
Yes, getting better. So I really tried to always have what he needs. If I'll get an order, I'll just restock from the baking supplies, and then I make sure I've added something that he needs, whether it's the soap, the moisturizer, the cream. I'll make sure. And at the moment, he's doing very well. He's doing very well. Because when he doesn't itch, we sleep well. And when we sleep well, I'm more productive.
Of course.
Yes. So compared to from where we have been to now, he's doing very well. He's doing very well. He can be able to interact with other children, because at some point children didn't want to be associated with him because his skin looks different. Their moms will tell them that don't play with this child, because their skin condition will go to. But eczema is not communicable. Eczema is just a condition. So my son so I had to shift from where from the place I was living, because I didn't want my son to go through the trauma of being told that his skin will affect the others. I protect my son with everything I have. Even if I had the others, I'll still protect them with everything that I have. That's a mother's job. So I moved so that my son can have a better life. But where he goes to daycare, because I take him to daycare, he does well at daycare. The kids there understand very well that when he's itching, they'll tell me, hey mama, anajikuna. And then they tell me, umpake dawa. They got so used to it that they are very friendly. Even when I am at home, I'm not at work, I'm just at home, and my son will just tell me, mom, taka kwenda daycare. Because he has gotten so used to those kids. They are very accommodating, they are very loving, they miss him because he's a jovial boy. So life has gotten better for us. God has helped me even get a job. Yes, I work as of 2023 in February. I got a job at Blue Scale Solutions. Blue Scale is a supplier of ICTs, of lab equipment and reagents, sports. So it does the supplies to high schools. So I'm the only employee in Meru. The others are in Nairobi. So when the schools are open, I'm the one who does the supplies. I meet up with the teachers. When there's need for sales and marketing, I do the sales and marketing because I have experience in sales and marketing. So that job has really helped me even to stabilize in life. I'm able now, apart from Peace Haven, apart from KAYCEE Crafts, I have somewhere that I look up to, that my son will not lack what he needs for eczema, what he needs in his everyday life, what we need for us in everyday life, because I have Blue Scale Solutions. Yes.
And we thank God for whoever gave you that job. We thank God for them, and we thank God for how far you've come from. And we have these beautiful, beautiful things with us here on display. So this is part of KAYCEE.
Yes, KAYCEE.
Take us through the journey of KAYCEE. How did you know you can create such amazing pieces? I mean, look at this. This is a serviette holder. How did you know you can create such beautiful things? And how did this start? Is it something that is in you, or is it something that you had to learn?
I've always been gifted.
Yeah.
Even in school, I'll do the props, I'll do the manila papers. I was just gifted. When you're in high school, you don't really know you have a talent. It comes out later in life. So I used to do cartoons. I used to do calligraphy on the letters, the envelopes. So little by little, I started understanding that I'm gifted. So after high school, I started doing sign writing. with paint and brush. I was the first female sign writer in Meru. But now things advanced. People don't use brushes, don't use paints. Printing came. Everything has advanced. So after I was working at Walker Automech in town. That's where I was doing sign writing, painting. So I saved up, and my mom boosted me. I went to Nairobi and I did graphic design. I have a diploma in graphic design. Later, I started doing sales and marketing. Graphic design helped when I was in Nairobi. In Meru, they just started it recently. But when I came back to Meru, I came back when I was already in a relationship. That is what brought me back to Meru. So after I got into my relationship, which ended in marriage, I started now being I became a mom almost immediately. So parenting and business, they didn't really go together. But after my second born, that's when I started seeing people make beadwork. And I got very interested in beadwork. The first thing that I learned from making beadwork, it is the key holder. And when I teach people how to make beadwork, I start from the key holder because it is the basic, completely the basic. So I was taught how to make the key holder, which now I started going into the internet, looking for how people make beads. You know, when you have the basics, you can do anything else. So because I had the basics of making beadwork, I started experimenting with a lot of things. And that's how KAYCEE grew. So coming up with the name KAYCEE. KAYCEE is a combination of all my babies' names. Because there is Kaden, there is Aiden, there is Adrian, there is Ace. So in between all that, so in between all that, it's KAYCEE. They are all KAYCEE. That reminds me that I'm building this brand for KAYCEE, for my babies. Yes. So then I started experimenting with a lot of things. Then at some point I was going to the market, Kakoromoni, and there was a mama there called Mama Gitonga. She used to make the hats, the Rastakala hats.
This is one
And
outfit I saw. Where is the outfit? There's more. Yes, this one.
The
Look at this.
Yeah, so I got interested. And she told me, just go and come with a hook. Go to a certain shop and just bring a hook. And I went. And in 3 days, I knew how to hold a crochet hook. And I knew how to make a small hat. I knew how to make a scarf. And when you are interested, there is nothing you cannot learn. When you're interested, there is nothing you cannot learn. So she taught me how to make a hat and a scarf. Then I went back to the internet and I advanced. And I advanced my skills. So I would look for many more patterns. I would look for other ways to make different stuff. So I started crocheting. So I started and I learned how even to make bags out of crochet. This is a bag made out of crochet.
No.
Yes.
Look at this.
That's a crochet bag. And the woman who taught me how to make the bags, she lives in Daraka. And she has a group there of women that make those bags. And they always ship them to London. They ship them in bulk.
Yes.
They are beautiful things.
Of course.
All handmade. I can make out of beadwork. I can make absolutely anything out of beadwork. That is something I believe. I can make earrings. I can make key holders. I can make bracelets, anklets. I can make that kind of bag, the pearl bag. I can make the mats. I can make the mats out of beads. And out of crochet too. Everything that you put your mind to, you can do it. And then the advantage about knowing how to make the beads, the crochet, you don't have to be talented to learn how to make beadwork or crochet. It's something you can be trained. a basic skill that you can be trained and you can do and get something out of it. Yes.
You mentioned that when you do train, you train people, you start with the basic, which is the keyboard. So I think it's that you can train anyone that is interested.
Yes. Over the last 5 years, I've trained over 200 kids, youth, women, old moms, and they have done really well.
Yeah.
They have done really well.
Yeah. Wow. This is amazing, Winnie. This is so super amazing. So let me dive a little bit on Piece of Heaven, which is the cake business. What about Piece of Heaven? Were you trained, or this is just something that you just started?
No, I didn't go to school when it comes to Peace Haven. I started growing an interest in baking because I already have 4 kids. You can imagine baking 4 cakes in a year. And I've always had an interest of knowing how to bake. So I thought it's the high time I started baking. So I started by looking into the internet. I reached out to some of my friends who bake for tips on how to bake. Decorating wasn't really that hard because I'm already an artist. So I didn't find it very hard to decorate a cake. I just needed pointers on how to do it. So Peace Haven was also part of my therapy. Baking distracted me from beadwork, from crochet, the usual routine. And when I made cakes, even my babies were so excited. And you know, even if you are a sad mom, you're a depressed mom, you're a tired mom, the happiness of a child can change your mood. So when I would bake anything for my babies, even if it's cupcakes, they would get really excited. And so I took that very seriously. So I started baking, and a friend ordered a cake. And they said it was very nice. And just like that, I just advanced to making commercial cakes. I bake for weddings. I've baked for a wedding. I've baked for a traditional wedding. I've baked so many birthday cakes. I've made so many just private function cakes. I've really advanced. I haven't been into the baking industry for long, but so far so good.
So for those who don't know where to find you, because I'm sure after this show, so many people will want to find you and get something for themselves. Where can they get you? As much as we're still going to put your number, but still, where can they find you? Physical place where they can find you.
At the moment, we are having an expo for artists at Greenwood. First floor and ground floor. And for KAYCEE, I'm on all social media platforms as KAYCEE Crafts Meru. Don't leave out the name Meru.
We have to grow our Meru by force.
Yes. I have a Google profile which also has my contact. You just Google KAYCEE Crafts Meru and you'll get my contact. I think my contact is the easiest way to find me. If you don't know where Greenwood is, if you don't know Meru, I ship my items to anywhere. In the past 2 years, I've been fortunate to ship my steering. I've been making steering covers. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to bring one because I've sold them all. So I've been able to ship my steering wheel covers. I've shipped to US. I've had Kenyan bracelets to US. I made 65 pieces in December and January. They went to US. I've made a few that have gone to UK, the Kenyan bracelets. I have made 8 steering wheel covers that have gone to Zambia. I've made 3 steering wheel covers that have gone to Sierra Leone. I've made 2 steering wheel covers that have gone to Burundi. So if you Google KAYCEE Crafts, I can ship to wherever you are. So my contact is just there. You just communicate. You just look for me. If it will be easier for me to come to where you are, I will. Yes.
That's one thing that I love about you. You're one resilient woman that never gives up. Anyway, kila kitu kikuja your way, you were able to emerge out of any situation, and that's one thing that I love about you, girl. And
All
that's
on God.
that's one thing that really made me want you on this show. You remember we had this discussion from a while back, even before X Living was born, and because I admire what you do and I admire the strength that you have in you, and I know you're going to reach someone somewhere who is almost giving up and thinking that they cannot start or do anything that they want to do. But you're one person who shows us that no matter what you're going through, you can lift yourself out of any situation, of course, with God being by your side and able to achieve your goals. So where do you see KAYCEE and the peace of heaven? Maybe what's the future for KAYCEE?
It's the next big thing.
Yeah.
Nothing short of that.
Uh-huh.
KAYCEE, I major mostly on KAYCEE because it is something that is in my heart.
Yeah.
It has a very special place in my heart because it is also the gift that I was given by God. I am planning projects to do to help women mostly. You know, people say that we help women so much,
yeah.
but when you help a woman, the society is also helped.
Yeah.
I wanted to start a project to support mothers to able differently children, the mothers to the disabled children that need their full attention. I wanted them to have something that they can make in the comfort of their home, to train them on some of these things that they can earn something from home, because a child, a special needs child, needs care almost 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
They need their parents close. So I want to show those mothers on how to make things like this, because you'll be able to make maybe a box, key holders, mats, or even anything else at the comfort of your home, and you're still watching over your child.
Yeah.
So that's a project I wanted to start, but finances have failed me kidogo, but I know I will get there. I want KAYCEE to be an international brand. I don't want it only to be a talent-centered business. I want it to be something that has helped a lot of people. I want to come out of production. I want to give others that opportunity to produce.
Yes.
I want to be the one to make the sales.
Yes.
Let me be the innovator, because I believe I can innovate anything, and it can sell, it can do well. So I really want even to have an art school in Meru. I know they are big dreams, but if your dreams don't scare you, then you are not dreaming big enough. So I've always wanted to have an art school in Meru, because when I wanted to do fine arts, I went to Buruburu, but I could not afford it.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of gifted people in Meru, and if I was capable, I'll put up an institution, a school for artists in Meru. Meru has a lot of people that are gifted, and Meru is the center of the Mount Kenya region, because all the way from here it's Nairobi, Maua, Nanyuki. We don't have an art school that is accessible. So in the nearest future, you don't know tomorrow. In the nearest future, I'll want KAYCEE to be a brand that has seen people getting helped, both nurturing talents, helping the society in every way possible. Yes, I just want KAYCEE to be a good big name.
And we wish you well. We wish you well.
Thank you.
And we continue saying that KAYCEE is going to go places even higher than you've imagined. Because like you've said, if your dreams are not big enough, then they are
not dreaming big
I mean, if your dreams are not scaring you, my take is if your dreams are not scaring you, then they're probably not big enough. Yeah. So we wish you well. And I got to ask you one question. Where did you get even the courage to come here? I know I had asked severally, but What made you finally to say yes to this? Why?
It's because I believe this is a start of many more.
Yeah.
This is a start of many more. I cannot avoid talking about my story, giving my story. At the end of the day, I'm aiming for KAYCEE to be a big brand.
Yeah.
So if KAYCEE gets a big brand, it will get publicity.
Yes.
And publicity comes with interviews like this, comes with exposure like this. So why not start with my number one fan?
Yeah. So as we come to the end of the show, there is also another question that I love asking my guests, because I believe people are sinking into depression because they don't want to talk. Sometimes you find it's the tiniest things that are making people even end their lives. Tiny, as simple as, what is that one thing you've ever heard about yourself that put you down, or that one thing that yani ulisikia ukasikia kabisa hii hapana. So what's for you, what's that one thing ushaisikia about yourself ikakuweka down?
I have, over the years, over those 3 years, I've had a lot of things. But the things that were supposed to be said to me to break me down, they didn't. What breaks us down is something that is done to us by somebody you had trust in, somebody you extremely loved. That is the only thing that can break you. And for me, I was already broken. So there is nothing really that could have made me not value life after that. In life, we lose hope because of very minor things. Try talking to people. By the talking to people is the easiest way to get out of depression. When you put it to yourself, you cannot be able to advise yourself. You cannot be able to just pull yourself out of the darkness by yourself. I'm lucky I have the kind of women that were telling me, Winnie, you have to think about this situation this way. You have to think about this situation this way. And it's unfortunate when you get, you tell, the first person you tell your problems to, they are the ones that pull you down. They will be like, sasa we kwa nini ulifanya hivi? Kwa nini ungefanya hivi? Until date, people blame me because my marriage failed. And that doesn't even bother me. Because they'll never understand. And you can never make people like those ones understand. And it doesn't even matter. Because whether they understand or not, it doesn't matter. What matters is you're pulling yourself out of the darkness. I really pray that if someone is going through the darkness, you'll get somebody who can help you out of that darkness. The first person you approach, may they be the person that tells you, why don't you look at this situation this way? Why don't you stop looking at this situation in this way? Try thinking of what has happened to you as a good thing. Right now you can be able to do this, you can be able to do this, instead of just someone pulling you down. I think most people that end up committing suicide, they don't have that, they don't get to that one person that will tell them, think about your situation in this way. Or the person they open up to will bring back the blame to them. They might not have been the victim, or they might have been the ones that caused it. But you don't have to remind this person that they were responsible for this, or they are just acting like they are the victim and they are the perpetrators. You don't have to pull somebody down. If somebody comes to you and they tell you they are facing this kind of challenge, try and change the mindset of this person. Try and change what they are talking about, what that person is facing or talking about, into another perspective. That is the only way you can help that person. And if you cannot help that person, by the way, si lazima umu advice. You can just tell them, I would really want to advise you, but I'm afraid that the advice I'm going to give you is not going to be very good. But if you allow me, I can look for somebody that can advise you on how to handle this situation. Don't overthink it. Don't jump into conclusion. Don't take anything the wrong way. Just give me time to look for someone who can help you. It's not a must you advise that person. Your advice, if your advice is not good, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So, if someone approaches you and you cannot help, give them another solution of someone else. If you're in a position that you can help this person, not necessarily financially, because people assume that when you approach them, you want financial help.
Yeah.
Listen to this person. And if you know you cannot keep whatever this person is telling you as a secret, just leave it. Because you might have helped them, and then you go and talk to the wrong person about it, and it will take that person even deeper from where they were. And you don't like the outcome. So depression is a very sensitive issue. If you're not able to help someone who is depressed, leave them alone. I'd rather you even ignore them. They'll look for someone else instead of giving the wrong advice. It's better to just ignore that person, because the wrong advice will sink them even deeper. Yes.
Winnie, we wish you well. We wish you well.
Thank you.
We pray for KAYCEE that it may reach international and beyond your dreams.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here and for being vulnerable to us. Your vulnerability, I'm sure, is going to lift someone that has been feeling down, someone that perhaps was at the verge of giving up. But listening to your words and seeing you now, doing you, living your dreams, is something that is going to inspire them and something that is going to pick them up from that hole that someone has dug for them. We thank you, and call upon us anytime to market you, to walk this journey with you. Thank you so much, and may God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you.
My viewers, you've heard it all from her, and I'm sure she said 1-2 things that has touched you positively, I hope. I'll end this by saying this. Don't let your past cripple you, because you're no longer living in your past. Your past was yesterday, and today is the future. So do not let anyone put you down because they're reminding you of your past. If you woke up today, it means God is not done with you yet. And it means you can still achieve those dreams that they've told you cannot achieve. May God bless you all. And let's continue subscribing, liking, and sharing so that we can reach more and more audience. Thank you so much.